Hey guys, it's History Behind the Warrior, and today we're going to be talking about the history of Superman. Now this is the final part for the Superman video, and if people haven't watched any of the previous ones, I do highly recommend it, as it gives much context to what I'm talking about here. Now I've covered the entirety of the Injustice comics, and since we're finished there, we can talk about the game. Now I'd just like to remind any new viewers that this takes place outside of DC's main continuity, so it's in no way, shape or form related to the New 52. Now where we've left off, Superman's regime is holding the world in an iron fist and is constantly in pursuit of Batman and his insurgency, as Batman has lost many of his allies and his forces are running thin. So knowing that there was no other way of defeating this bloodthirsty Clark, he would get members of the Justice League from a different universe and pull them into his, with the hopes that they could finally take down Clark. Now from the end of the comics to the game, he formed the One Earth government and have it so every single country would more or less be under his so-called protection, seeing as he was now judge, jury and executioner. Now during this time he also began a very physical relationship with Wonder Woman, as since Lois was now gone, he didn't really have anyone else he was emotionally attached to. Now it wouldn't take long for Clark to learn about the doppelgangers in his world, so he'd make it his regime's top priority to seek them out and take them down. And they were in fact able to capture Batman. When Clark confronted the Caped Crusader, he realized that this wasn't his Batman, and as such reached out to Lex Luthor so that the two could find a way of finding out who is who and who's from their universe and who's not. Due to the sudden appearance of doppelgangers, Clark begins thinking to himself if there's the slight possibility that there is another Lois. Now Clark would catch word of Bruce and the doppelgangers infiltrating the Old Wayne Manor. Now after a brief scuffle, Bruce was able to get away with what he wanted. Now questioning about what he was looking for, Clark would go to this Batcave and investigate what he was looking at, and he would realize that they obtained a kryptonite weapon. Seeing no other choice, he wanted to flush them out, so he scheduled the execution of the otherworld's Batman and to have him killed on Stryker's Island. Now realizing that not only Batman will be coming for him, but the doppelgangers, he would have his entire army stationed and waiting for them at Stryker's Island. Aquaman would lead the first wave against him. Using his abilities to control sea life, he would lead an army of what I can only presume are giant lobsters against Superman and his forces. While Superman's forces are being overwhelmed, at least until he intervenes. Although he's able to gain the upper hand for a short amount of time, the interference of Green Lantern and Wonder Woman makes it extremely difficult to cope. But he is able to hold his own long enough to see that Bruce has been freed from his shackles. He confronts his world's Bruce and says that he is a fool for thinking he could do this quietly. But before Clark is able to retaliate, Bruce is teleported away, and Clark realizes that someone else is in the watchtower. In a fit of rage, Clark would fly all the way up to the watchtower. Now due to being irrational and angry, he would approach the watchtower without realizing that it was about to explode. So when it did combust, he was caught in a massive explosive wave. But this wasn't quite enough to kill the Kryptonian. Now as he was about to gather his thoughts, he hears Lex Luthor call his name and challenge him, so he comes back down to Earth, smashing Lex into the ground. Shocked to have had his best friend betray him, Clark tears him out of his suit of armor and grabs him around the throat and snaps his neck. But Clark doesn't realize that he's been watched by the entire world doing this, so he can in fact hear what they're saying about him. Now out of complete frustration, Clark temporarily leaves the Earth. He later has a meeting with the regime in which they discuss of ways of dealing with the doppelgangers and show their display of power. Clark goes even as far as saying that he wants to flatten Gotham, and after dealing with the doppelgangers, seek out and find their world and do the same to theirs. But Shazam isn't happy about this and openly speaks to Clark and says this isn't what Lois would have wanted. Now Clark, pretty much hitting boiling point, sees this as treason and in fact chokes Shazam for burning a hole straight through his head, killing him. Clark then assembles his forces as they prepare to track down these doppelgangers and kill them. They begin their assault on Gotham, destroying whatever they can and causing an all-out brawl as civilians and Hero fight each other alike. Things are going extremely well at first until Clark's doppelganger appears. Knowing that fighting himself will be a massive struggle, he sets on him the one being that he's very aware that can kill him, Doomsday. Now despite the monster's best efforts, he is defeated by the doppelganger and is thrown into the Phantom Zone. Clark then goes face to face with his counterpart, and the two begin arguing with each other, with Clark being told by his doppelganger that they are not gods and they shouldn't decide who should live and who should die. The two then battle each other, with Clark being defeated by his doppelganger. He's then imprisoned in a Red Sun prison chamber, where he will stand trial for his crimes against humanity. But before before Injustice finishes, we see a little flicker in Clark's eyes, showing that this battle is not yet over, and that this story will continue into Injustice 2. But yeah guys, that's been it for my 4-part series of Superman. I hope you've all enjoyed it. These videos have been rather lengthy, and I would just like to let everyone know that I really do thank all of you for supporting these videos. It has been absolutely fantastic. Now I do plan on continuing this series, and the next character I'm going to be talking about is Batman, as it seems only fair to cover both leaders of two different groups. Now with Injustice 2 on the horizon, how do you guys think that Superman is going to escape his Red Sun prison? Please put down in the comments below. The theories for this can be endless, so it'll be very interesting to see what you guys have to say on the topic. Now before we wrap this video up guys, if possible share this video and let's try getting it to 750 likes, as it's a great way of supporting my channel and letting everyone know that we now do Injustice content on this channel. Now as always guys, please comment, like, subscribe and share this video with everyone you know. Please take care and I will see you all next time.